This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
This is the young Titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the Warbound Hellhound Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Podcast. The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast, hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right, I stuttered. Shut up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast, an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I, of course, am one of your hosts, the Carson Daly of professional wrestling, Dickie Wabash. This man sitting to my right, my everything. That is Michael Madrox, the one-legged wonder. But, you know, here's the thing, Madrox.
What do we got going on today, Dickie?
I think we've got a couple one-legged wonders on this one here today.
Oh, man, I'm not alone anymore.
Guys,
Gimmick infringement.
Here's the deal. We've talked about it on content. You've seen the Facebook posts. You know what's up over here. Guys, let's hear it for injury-prone. Dalton Davis is here on the Spot Show Podcast. Dalton, what's up, man?
Well, karma finally bit me in the ass.
Yeah, so for people that don't really know what's going on, you're on the injury reserve right now, brother.
Yep. You know, I'm just sitting at home collecting my MadBash checks, you know, enjoying the time off. Not really, kind of going batshit crazy because I can't leave my apartment.
Hey, positive note, we didn't FedEx you a release.
Yes, this is true.
Sitting at home with a broken elbow or whatever he had, and he has the audacity to fire me. What?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's been kind of rough, but yeah, you know, just been chilling out. Broke my leg on a house show dive.
You ain't got to lie to the fans, brother. How many orphans did you save off that school bus?
Oh, dude, it was a scary scene, but I did it all for that puppy that was in the back. You know, that crash was very scary. If you're hot and blonde and want to know the story, hit me up. But no, snapped my fibula. They also found out that, like, I don't remember the name that they exactly said, but the bone that kind of keeps your ankle even with your leg, that was also snapped. So what they did is they put 2 plates, a bunch of screws in my fibula, and then the bone to keep my leg even, they put a couple rods going across my ankle. So yeah, kind of sucks, but hey, you live and you learn.
Look at the positive side, though, dude. Like, we've seen the mechanical arms come into play in a professional wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Those bionic forearm smashes. You are going to have the best shining wizard when you return.
You beat me to it. I was going to say you're about to have a hell of a shining wizard.
Off with your head just might have to change.
Yeah, I'm about to start punting motherfuckers in the face. Yeah.
Well, hey, guys, before we get too far into this, just want to remind you, this is the Spot Show Podcast each and every week. Michael Madrox and myself, sometimes a guest, we sit down, talk about this wacky world of professional wrestling and everything surrounding it. And you know what? Everything in between. Here's the thing, guys. If you like what we do here, you can go ahead and go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios, where you're going to get all of our shows completely ad-free and early, mind you.
Very early.
You're also going to get them early. Hey, here's something else, too, that's really cool. You don't have to go over to the Patreon. Just go to madbashstudios.com. You can find links. Leave us a 5-star written review. That is stuff that we very much appreciate. If you like what we're doing here, show us a little bit of love. That is what we love to see. But hey, what I don't like to see, the brother down and out.
Yeah, it's a good tantric song.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we...
This video or episode is going to be nothing like pop-up video from the 90s. We're just going to say lines, and Parker's going to be over there like, yeah, that song came out in 1994.
So about every normal conversation.
Yeah, so every normal conversation with Dalton Davis, he somehow ties it into either like a current rap song or like like an old school, just it really turned into, okay, so you really segued from wrestling themes into rap music, and then you kind of went back into wrestling themes.
Yeah, it kind of like switches back and forth, but all that matters is Jay Silva says I'm invited to the cookout. So.
That's Jay Silva.
I'm verified, dude.
Yeah, you can go get some street corn with Jay Silva. He can make that for you.
Hell yeah, fool.
We're gonna continue this conversation, but first we got some plug skis for everyone, Madrox.
We always got the plug skis.
We got some plug skis and upcoming dates. Hey, right now you can go listen to the newest episode, our newest podcast, Enough of This. The first episode is up where we watch season 1, episode 1 of Tough Enough, and I got to tell you, there's something that happens in that episode that is one of my favorite things that has ever happened on a piece of MadBash wrestling content. But that's not all. We're pumping out the content. We've got some upcoming dates for you as well. July 27th, we are going to be at Elite Pro Wrestling, Red, White, and Bruised. We got a MadBash Wrestling Championship match going on there, Madrox.
Who's it going to be?
We have to find out. It could be Chris Cutler, could be Jay Silva. We don't know yet. But Benny Bray is challenging for the MadBash Wrestling Championship. He's one of the newest MadBash boys. Let's see if he can step up to the plate, if you know what I mean. But hey, that's our dates coming up here. And again, this episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling and patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Speaking of patreon.com/MadBash Studios, we're going to be having a little treat for everyone because, I sent out the bat signal over here to Down and Out Dalton Davis. As you know, we do Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show on Patreon. I said, pick a match. So you got that to look forward to coming up on the Patreon.
Yep. We got a couple different options. Of course, I can't decide on anything, so we're going to have to figure that out. But
he's going to flip a coin. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, probably.
This goes to show you the type of friend that I am. Hey, Dalton, let's do Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show, which is where we sit down and watch wrestling and all of that. You've pretty much been doing nothing but just sitting down and watching wrestling since you've been hurt. So it's just me like, hey, that thing you've been doing? Let's do more of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Just been watching like a lot of wrestling. Damn, something's in my throat. Just a lot of wrestling, a lot of Family Guy. Honestly, that's been.
You told me that you've been watching Family Guy.
Yeah. I've been on my Family Guy kick. That shit's funny.
Well, you're not kicking anything. Especially
Who's your favorite Family Guy character?
Ooh.
I know you can relate with Joe right now, but
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, let the jokes keep coming. I expected.
yeah, exactly. This is my turn, motherfucker.
Yeah, is Madrox allowed to make the jokes and get away with it?
I mean, yeah, because that's every day in his life.
Yes. He's only got he's got a few months, maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah, he lets the inside show from the outside,
He just tries to do his best to pass the test. There he goes, freaking
storytelling
to a wrestling theme. Oh my God. So let's get into it a little bit, man. I'm sure there are people that have some questions, like necessarily like what happened, what's next, all that other stuff. I think we're going to get into all of that. So, let's just start with this right now. This is not your first injury that you have suffered, but obviously, would you say that this is a dumb question, but it's the worst you've had, obviously.
It required surgery, Dickie.
Yeah, it required surgery.
Yeah, this is definitely probably by far. My collarbones are up there. I was supposed to have surgery on them, but I kind of didn't. But when it comes to being able to like actually be able to walk, that's a different story, But yeah, I would say this is for sure the worst injury I've had.
Yeah, I think it's crazy though that like I'm looking at it. I would have swore like because this is how good of a friend I am. This is the first time I've seen you since you've had surgery. We've been busy, haven't been able to get over to you. The storms hit, whatever. I'm surprised they didn't plaster cast you, man. Like that's crazy.
Same. I'm surprised about that too. But this splint is just as uncomfortable.
Oh,
probably for the wound care when you think about it.
Yeah, because there's if he had surgery, there's an open wound there.
Yeah, and that plaster cast, he would just be sweating and stinking and growing bacteria inside of it.
And trust me, as someone who has had a plaster cast on his left foot, just like you do, Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah, I go Wednesday to see if I can get at least into a walking boot. Because that's what the guy said.
Yeah. So by the time that people hear this on Thursday, he would have already gone. We'll definitely give you an update and let you know. But yeah, so for those of you that are hearing this on the day that this does come out, I'm just going to will this. Hopefully you're in the walking boot, man. You know?
Yeah.
We get some 3-legged races to win this summer, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. I got this little scooter thing, dude. It doesn't really have brakes at all. So it's pretty fast, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those knee scooters
Yeah.
that you see people on.
Hide your meemos.
Hide your meemaws.
Hide me, Maul, because I'm coming.
I'm rolling in hot.
Oh, man. But yeah, so let's get into what exactly happened. You know, you alluded to it. You just simply said it. It was a house show dive.
Yep.
But, you know, let's get more into the day. You know, it was you versus Clayton Clark. You were only like, what? They were only like 3 minutes into the match. Like, you were not into it long at all.
Yeah, we were pretty early. It was, right about the beginning. It was the ending of Clayton's shine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things happen in wrestling. First and foremost, like, people listening to this, I don't want anybody to give Clayton Clark any heat about it. You know, that's just...
Oh, he shot on you, brother. Don't lie.
No, all joking is, I agree with what Dalton's saying here. Like, it's never, like, it was a freak thing, you know?
Yeah, it's something that I've done hundreds, if not thousands of times, just catching people on dives. And, you know, it was a freak accident. You know, that shit happens in the wrestling business. It's not fucking ballet, and there ain't no pussies in the Hall of Fame. So don't give Clayton Clark any slack about it. But no, Clayton went for a house show dive, which for the people that don't know that, it's basically where you jump over the top rope to the outside. And,
Tope de casa, we call it.
yep.
Yeah.
And the guy on the outside catches you. You know, it's big pop from the crowd. Well, everything was fine. As you guys know, at the venue, the crowd was kind of up close to the ring. So I was trying to put myself in between, obviously, the ring and the fans because I didn't want Clayton landing on him. And I went to go catch him. And as soon as we made contact, my leg just buckled under pressure. And that's when it snapped. I thought at first it was just like stubbed up because I've done that a lot with like football and stuff.
Yeah, that was my question. It was like, did you know right away, like, fuck, this is broken?
No, I knew it hurt, but I just thought, like I said, like I stubbed it up. Like I've done that a lot in football. So I went to go stand up to go walk it off. And as soon as I got up, went to go put pressure, I immediately fell. And that's when I was like, yeah, something's definitely not right here. And then as I laid there, I kind of like, you know, the adrenaline started coming down. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely broken.
Yeah. Yeah. I was filming that match because we were going to make it for MadBash Uncut, which is a series that we do on YouTube where we just upload raw forms of any match that involves MadBash boys. And I remember filming it and I see, you catch him. It was routine, normal. Like you said, you've done it 1,000 times. You know, done it 1,000 times. And I see you start limping over. And I'm thinking you're working. I'm thinking it's like maybe there's a spot in the match where, like, you know, you're trying to lure him over and maybe get him or whatever. I look over at Madrox, and Madrox just shakes his head. And I knew right there, I was like, oh, fuck, Dalton's really hurt.
Because I was sitting there, I watched the whole damn thing. Like, I saw your ankle buckle and everything. And then when Clayton started coming over to you, when you fell back over, I just instantly looked at Dickie and I was like, no good. Because I could fucking tell by the look in your face and what I just witnessed, something was fucking wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so here's the weird thing about when you break a bone, you don't really, like, obviously it fucking hurts. Yeah. At least in my case, when I broke my foot, I didn't realize it. I just thought that I'd sprained my ankle. Like, I got up, so I broke my foot in my freshman year, and it was in the morning. I just walked to first period, didn't think anything of it. And then I'm sitting there and it's really hurting, really hurting, really hurting. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably go to the nurse. But you are in the middle of a wrestling match right now. And the fans are there and they are expecting this match to continue.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're just sitting there and you're like, I kind of can't, guys.
Yeah, and that's one thing that like I didn't like about it either, because you know, I've been hurt in the middle of a match before, and you know, usually I just finish it and then I deal with the injury when we get to the back. But this one was like the first one where I was like physically like I could not go if I wanted to. Like
you guys tried to save it though, the disqualification finish, then the count out finish, but there was too many people not understanding what the hell was going on at that given time.
Yeah. It was definitely a clusterfuck there at the end.
Well, I'm going to say this. Devontae Knox was a special guest referee.
Yeah.
And thank God that he was the special guest referee, because it was able to be recovered. So I'm just still, then back to, from my perspective here, I'm just filming, and then that's when I look over after you were sitting on the ground and you just had that pain in your eyes. And like, I know you well enough to know I was like, fuck, Dalton's hurt. Dalton's fucking hurt. And I look at Madrox and he just shakes his head like, fuck. So I stop recording. I walk over. Madrox is sitting on the floor with you.
Yeah.
And you just look up at me with that Dalton Davis look. It's usually that I'm pissed off look.
Yeah.
And you just look up at me and I'm like, fuck. So then I end up going to the back, and Chris Cutler and the Luminary are going over their match. Cutler goes, why is Clayton wrestling Devontae? And I said, dude, I think Dalton broke his ankle. Or no, leg. I didn't know what you broke. I knew something was broken. And he's like, what? No way. And then Luminary, they were like, well, what happened? It was like, oh, it was a house show dive. And like, fuck. And then like it started to spread. Like everyone was starting to be, I was going back and forth checking on you. But there was a funny moment that happened when they came over to check on you with your boots. And I think you need to bring a little levity to this.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to be like, oh, Parker broke his leg. It sucks. It does suck. But there's some levity to this story that I think is really, really funny.
So essentially what happened is these three women came over, which thank God, because they helped me out a lot. They come over and they're trying to like check on me and check on my leg, and I obviously still had my boots and knee pads on at the time. Well, this one lady said that they needed to cut my boot off, and I was not having it. So I politely told her, the fuck if you are. These boots are a lot of fucking money. So I proceeded to unlace them and yank my boot off right in front of them, which probably didn't help a fucking single thing. But
No, you should have left that damn boot on until you got to the hospital.
Probably should have left the boot on,
Yeah.
Because you immediately put your slides on, and there really wasn't much.
Oh, no, but I mean, either way, I was fucked.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I didn't know, like, right when I broke it, that I broke it. I just knew something was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at it, when I got my boot and shit off, and I seen how swollen and how like discolored it was, and like how it was leaning, I was like, oh yeah, it's broke.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like I just said, when you break a bone, you don't know.
Look at my foot, man. I had
Look
a
at what
broken
happened.
foot and didn't even know it, and walked around till it healed
Yeah.
and killed off the tendons in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I'm very grateful for. So I told you this, we're getting a little bit ahead, but I told you, I said, because the big question was, it was a fucking house show dive.
Yeah.
Something so simple.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I said, I'm going to tell you how it happened. It was bound to happen for something. I think it was going to break regardless. And you were, this is going to sound weird me saying this, but I think you're lucky the way in which it happened, because, like literally the night before, you're in a ladder match and you're taking back body drops off of ladders onto bridged ladders.
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, dude, imagine if your fucking leg goes down the rungs of that ladder and snap, could have been bad. Or...
You want to see what my theory is? You carrying down fucking dryers to Dickie Wallbash's basement, weaken your leg. It's all Dickie's fault.
That did happen. Yeah, the day was that? Did we do that the day of the show?
No, I think it was like the Friday before.
Yeah, we had to carry a new dryer, and then carry, dude, it's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
By the way, I think we talked about that on Paid Show because that was a big.
See, it's all Dickie's fault. It all circles back to Dickie Wabash. Everything wrong in the world
is Dickie Wabash's fault. But no, man, I remember, I was like, hey, man, show must go on. I understand this. You're still getting tended to. Cutler and Luminary, they're next. I'm going to film this. And you're like, yeah, go ahead. Like, you didn't fucking care. You were on the phone with JD. JD was on the phone with Madrox. There was just all this commotion fucking going on. And you were just like, fuck. They ended up getting you outside. We pulled the red line around. Ended up, and I just want to give a few shout outs on your behalf.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Mad Dog Conley, came and checked on you.
Yep.
Shout out to CMC. He was very concerned. Shout out to Cutler, Luminary.
and the entire trauma unit.
The entire trauma unit was very concerned about you. Everyone was, And but anyway,
Not to toot my own horn, but I never left his side.
you did, and like I get a Facebook message from, or no, this is what it was. JD tries calling you, and then you look at me and you're like, Dickie, call JD. And I'm like, okay, I will. So I Facebook call him, and he's like, so what's going on? And I'm like, not really sure. I was like, but listen, show must go on right now. I got to go film a match. Call Madrox. He's like, okay. So then I give, Cutler, I'm like, Cutler, he's fine. He'll be fine. It's okay. And he's like, okay, cool. They go out and do the match. About that time, you're dressed, and we're like, we better just get going. Like, let's get you back as soon as possible. And like, not to get a little bit, you were definitely in a mood, for the first little bit. Not happy. How could you be? You were pretty fucking bummed out. You were in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But then as that fucking car ride goes on, the old Dalton Davis that I know and love starts to come back out. And then now you're cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And now you're cracking jokes, and I'm like, he's going to be okay.
I mean, this motherfucker tried walking into a McDonald's
You
for a
tried walking
cheeseburger.
into McDonald's.
Yeah, I did try to do that. I don't know. I just, that's like my fight or flight reflex is just to start cracking jokes. So.
But to bring levity to it, you know what I mean? Just like I said with the whole cutting off of the boot thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, let's talk about doldrum, like, oh man, Dalton, blah, 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 blah. And then to bring the levity to the fuck you will. Like, it's just like, respectfully, the fuck you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Booker Austin on that.
But yeah, man, there's never a good time
No, never.
to get hurt. And I would say this is a very good example of that, because you were starting to really get in your groove, man. You were putting on some, and if this gets a little bit depressed, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. Like, you were really starting to put on some you were putting bangers, man, really good ones. Like, I could think of this year, I can think of maybe only 2 or 3 matches of yours that were, mid. The rest of them, you were fucking firing on all cylinders, man.
Yeah, and it just it goes to show, like you said, like there's no good time for anything
Ever.
So now you live, you learn, you heal, you move on. That's kind of, as much as it sucks, like, the setback sucks, but the comeback's always better. So I'd rather have gotten that earlier on to, having that stride of banger matches and have it cut short than have it go on for as long. And then, because now I have something to come back to. I know a formula, if that makes sense, of like what I need to do to be back better. So
You get that fucking experience mapped out and shit now.
yeah. And wrestling so young, as you get older with wrestling, as you're wrestling, it's harder on your body and shit too. So I'm, as much as it sucks, I'm grateful for it to only be my ankle. It could have been, my fucking back. It could have been my neck. It could have been my knees. It could have been
Your neck, your back, your pussy, and your crack.
It could have been it could have been your finger. I've seen Sin Cara stop matches over that.
yeah. I have broke my pinky once.
Now, that was against Alberto Del Rio, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm
when
not
he
sure.
did that. Dalton and I are on a big Alberto Del Rio kick lately because we found this AI voiced video about the rise and fall of Alberto Del Rio.
That's not accurate at all.
What's not accurate?
The Alberto Del Rio video.
So far, it's like he was the first. So
He's just MJF.
he is. Dalton ruined Alberto Del Rio for me. I mean, one would argue that the terrible shit Alberto Del Rio has done in his personal life has ruined Alberto Del Rio for me. But he's a piece
it's
of
the
shit.
scarf, and he looks like MJF, the Jewish guy.
Yeah, he really does. He's a Mexican MJF.
Yeah.
And but what was I getting ready to say? Oh, so I call up Dalton the other day, like just because I've been calling you about every day or so just to check in with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, so what are you up to, man? And he's like, oh, I'm about to watch this 20-minute video about the rise and fall of Alberto Del Rio. Hang on, I'll send it to you. And then he just sends it to me, and then he and I were just texting each other about it back and forth. And it was just like, what are we doing?
Hell yeah, dude. It's working.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is a good documentary, too. Shout out
It
to
was. It was. But what was my original point with this was we were talking about, oh, yeah, it's never a good time. You know, like I said, I mean, you were just really on this string of like incredible matches. And I made the comment that it was like literally the night before you were in a four-man ladder match at Hybrid, and you took a fucking back body over a ladder onto a bridged ladder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't get hurt on that.
Not at all.
Yeah, but then it's just something that's like that just goes to show you, man, like a simple tope de casa. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anything can happen, man. Like, you know, people think wrestling's fake, and, you know, you even get this like sense of immunity when you're a worker. Like I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing in there. Like, I'm not going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And then, you know, boom, reality hits, and it reminds you, like, hey, this shit ain't fake, dude. As much as you wanted it to be, it is not fake. So, yeah.
When are you going to make the Facebook post?
What?
When you just put your leg up there and be like, wrestling's not fake. Meet me in the back alley at 2 o'clock to discuss it.
Tell me it's fake one more time.
Yeah. I just start Orton punting people in the back alleys. Hell yeah, dude. That's working.
It is. I don't think you're going to be punting anything right now, though, for at least a little bit, you know?
Oh, fuck no. I ain't doing much of anything. We have Dalton in a coffin right now. He's resting.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty of it, man. You know, not trying to will anything or jinx anything, but obviously you got to listen to your doctors and have your appointments and stuff. But I mean, where's your head at? Are you wanting to come back? Are you wanting, God willing, are you gonna,
you know, that's kind of the question that we're faced with, you know, like, I'm not going to have any, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to have any idea of what I'm going to want until I get to my first follow-up post-surgery. Yeah. But, you know, I see pros and cons in both. I see pros in coming back. I see pros in, you know, not coming back. We just got to see which outweighs which. And, you know, God willing, I get cleared, then that'll, you know, make the decision. But, you know, if it gets taken away from me and the doctors say, like, hey, look, like, this is something you're not going to be able to do. Then so be it. Like, the decision's out of my hands. You know, luckily, I feel like in this part of my career, I may not have done everything that I have wanted to do, but I feel like I've done enough to satisfy myself. In wrestling, like I never wanted to be signed or, you know, have the pomp and circumstance. I just kind of wanted to have like live out a dream a little bit and build a legacy. So like eventually one day when I have kids, you know, they have a group of people that can tell them one day like, hey, like back in the day, your dad Dalton used to kind of be the shit. And I feel like I've been grateful enough to build that. So yeah, you know, we're kind of just winging it as it goes. We'll figure it out once once I get to this follow-up appointment, and then, we'll see. But in the words of a great poet, yesterday I cried. Today is day one.
He just called Roman Reigns
He's
a great poet. Oh my God, you really are just one of a fucking kind, dude.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I can't wait to corrupt your children and tell them stories about their father once you have them.
Hey, that's fine. I got video proof, though.
Hey, it's payback for the shit you're doing with Logan.
Hey, that's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
It's like, all right, kids, sit down. We're watching Uncle Dalton versus Logan Myers from Hybrid.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh my God. So, I mean, you kind of answered what my next question was going to be. Like, I'm going to knock wood on this, is this table that's metal? But if, and this is if, I'm not saying that this is, but if this is it, you pretty much already answered the question. There's no need to me even asking it. Like, you feel content with.
Yeah. Like I said, as much as it would suck, because I feel like I could still do more mentally, if this is it. Like, I'm pretty content with what I've done. And
hang on, I know that we're in the middle of a heartfelt answer, but we're getting a phone call. Papa Wabash, you are live on the Spot Show podcast with Dalton Davis. How are you?
Dalton Davis. What's up, Dalton?
what's up, sir?
Not a whole lot, man. You got a beer in your hand?
No, sir. Trying to
You mean
make.
to tell me the Bud Light Brawler's not got a cold one?
Hey, I can't right now. These painkillers say I can't drink.
Yeah, I think you forget that he's got a broken fibula right now, Dad.
Don't be a sissy.
You got a point. You got a point.
There you go. Hey, I usually do. Yes, sir. No, I didn't know what you knuckleheads were up to.
Oh yeah, we're just here recording a little podski with Dalton. He's kind of giving the story of how he got hurt, what's next, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? So
I do. Well, he's young. He'll heal quick.
We hope so.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
sir.
sure hoping.
All right. Well, listen, I didn't want anything. I was just checking in.
But you called at the
Yeah.
perfect time.
I'll talk. Well, I don't know about all that, but I'll talk to you knuckleheads later.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I know that I just interrupted a heartfelt answer, but when Tiger calls,
You answer.
you answer.
You answer.
But anyway, back to the you feel like, you've pretty much done what?
Yeah, I haven't accomplished everything I wanted to. Like, there's definitely some boxes that haven't been crossed.
Like
but,
a match with me.
Yeah, that is true. But no, like, as far as like being content with what I have, if the decision is out of my hands, then like I'm fine with that. I felt like I've done enough. I've got some great connections in the locker rooms with the boys. I've had a lot of great matches with a lot of the boys. I've been kind of a reputable name in the Midwest for at least majority of my career. So that was at least what I was seeking for when I first started. So I can't be mad about it. I never wanted to be, a big superstar one day. I just wanted to be locally famous. And I feel like I've accomplished that.
Yeah.
You wanted that washed up local hero title.
Yeah, Randy the Ram, son.
There you go, bro.
Yeah. Dalton is just at a VFW selling VHS tapes of his glory days.
Yeah.
He's just a broken down piece of meat.
Catch me posted up at the Kroger deli. Throwing forearms at the walls and shit.
What Parker, it's Dalton, brother. When he's in the car and he fucking, God damn it, and he's oh shit. Well, hey guys, here's the thing. This first half of this podcast has been a little bit of a bummer. I say we bring up the energy in the second half after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Hey, you there, listening to this. Here's what you need to do. You need to go to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Not only is it the best way to support MadBash Studios, but it is home of dozens and dozens of hours of exclusive content. not only are you going to get early access to MadBash Studios podcasts, Spot Show, and Enough of This, but you are going to get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos, videos, exclusive shows, such as Paid Show, such as Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show, and, of course, Past Bash. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios, where every piece of content is unapologetically creative. This episode of the Spot Show podcast is also brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. Here's the thing about Elite Pro Wrestling, right? You have them to thank for the Spot Show podcast in many different ways. Elite Pro Wrestling gave MadBash Studios our first opportunity when we decided to come back into the wrestling business. So Elite Pro Wrestling is one of the OG backers. We love Elite Pro Wrestling so much. They are putting on incredible shows every single month. You should absolutely be there, whether it be in Odin, Indiana, Washington, Indiana. We would love to see you in the crowd there at Elite Pro Wrestling for every single thing that you need to know about EPW. Head on over to EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. There you are going to find dates, events, links, everything that you need to know about EPW. Thank you so much for being a day one sponsor, EPW. We very much appreciate it. So here's the thing that I really want to know. We walk in and you're playing WWE 2K24.
Yep.
You gave Umanga the United States. Sorry. No, I fucked that up. The Intercontinental Championship.
That's my uncle.
Versus you gave Uncle Eki
Yep.
the championship.
I did.
What's some fantasy booking that you've been doing on 2K? Because I know that you have been, brother.
Dude, I've been cooking up some shit, dude. Let's see, the other day I did Logan Paul versus Harley Race.
That's working.
I've done Post Malone versus Damian Priest. Felt like that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you've created yourself on there, obviously, so you have Dalton Davis.
Yeah, it's a very shitty version. I didn't really go into detail, but yeah, I've been on there. I've wrestled pretty much about everybody.
Do you have any of the brothers on there?
No, I haven't really been too much on the creative side of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been like unlocking shit.
Yeah.
See, Logan Madrox has Clayton Clark, Jared Savage, Colby Jack,
Did
and
he make
Dalton.
them?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Are they good?
No.
Okay.
But he makes you guys fight even when you're not fighting. And it's like, God damn, can I get away from work?
That's fair. That's fair.
Got to get a break from it somehow, Logan. I mean, goddamn. You know what I mean?
Just break your leg, kid.
Yeah, and then that kid's hurt now, too. You don't even know the latest on him, do you? Did you hear the latest?
Torn rotator
rotator cuff.
Yes, sir.
MadBash boys dropping like flies, brother.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of fantasy booking, though,
Yeah.
I've already discussed this with you both today, but I think the fans need to hear it. If Dalton Davis makes his return to the ring, I want to plump him.
Win Dalton Davis.
I want to plump him up right now to get him to the body of Otis so he can just come out there and start fucking pouncing everybody.
I don't know about all that, dude.
Here's how I know Dalton is genuine about. He starts talking through his nose. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I lost a lot of weight already. I'm not looking to gain.
Look,
all
dude, you
back.
need the body of the veterans from our days.
Oh, dude, I already got that body, dude. Come on now. Look at me.
Dude, I just want to point something out. So we were watching some old stuff when we first got here. You know, I brought the brother a pizza.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I brought him a pizza to make him feel better. It's his custom pizza. Before, explain the Dalton Davis pizza here real quick.
So this is what it's got on there. It's got motherfucking chicken, motherfucking pepperoni, motherfucking ham, and then you salt on some pineapple. Put that bitch in the oven, and then when it comes out, you put some barbecue sauce over top of it. That shit fucks.
Madrox refused to eat it because of the pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't fuck with pineapple anymore.
He'll grow up one of these days.
He will.
No, I was already grown up at 15 years old drinking Caribou Lose so much that I can't stand the taste of pineapple now from throwing up so much.
Well,
Now
That's working.
that's like saying you don't eat cinnamon rolls because you drink too much Fireball.
No, I could do both of that stuff. And Dickie is broke on the podcast.
Oh my God. But anyway, my original point is that we're sitting here eating our pizza, and we start watching like some old stuff from back in our day whenever we were all first started rolling the roads. And right now on the screen, because Dalton paused it so that we could record, I am looking at a beautiful, beautiful man by the name of Tolerant Xero. And
I thought you were going to say Big T.
Well, Big T is in fact Cowboy up, man.
I love the shoulder sleeve.
Here's the thing about it. I know that we said that we're gonna try to the back half of this. We are going to try to keep it a little bit light, a little bit more levity. Don't want to be too sad and depressed about it. But here's the thing, the truth about Xero. Was an incredible guy. He left us way too soon, and everything that we do, we still have the memory of Tolerant Xero. But here's how you remember Xero: talking about the funny, dumb shit that he did. And for those of you that don't know Tolerant Xero, some of this might be lost on you, but I think a lot of it is still really going to be funny. So Dalton, of course, we might need to censor some things or whatever, but I say that we talk about some of our favorite Tolerant Xero stories. Let's start with you.
Oh, God. There's a lot, dude. Well, I'll probably tell the funniest one that everybody laughs at. Back in my green days, there was a worker by the name, I won't give you the name. For story purposes and the people that need to know will know, we'll call him Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero had a daughter.
No. Don't tell this story. We'll save that one for Page Show. Guys. You got to hear this story because this is a fucking funny one. That one's going to go on Page Show. I knew right away as soon as you said Sub-Zero.
Hey, you said tell you my favorite Zero story.
Yeah, fair.
So he would also, we'd always go to IHOP after shows here in town.
Yes, this one's good.
And anytime we'd walk in with somebody new, Xero would tell the new person at the time that this Apple poster was a scratch and sniff poster. And so they'd just be sitting over there like scratching it, trying to smell it the entire time we were waiting to go back to a booth. And it'd be so funny.
Man, here's the thing, guys. If you want to just sit and watch some very funny stuff and just laugh your ass off, look up This Is Where Pro Wrestling Goes to Die.
Some of the best shit.
Some of the best stuff. Not too long ago, we sat the old Clydesdale down and we
scold him.
We introduced him to This Is Where Pro Wrestling Goes to Die, and Tolerant Xero just had this weird, quirky sense of humor about him with the shit that he would do. And the videos that he would make were just so fucking funny. It was just the most off the wall shit that would make that, it was nothing that is like overtly funny, if that makes sense. It was just one of those things of where, like, if you truly knew this guy, then you would understand. But the only way to truly know this guy is to watch this content. And
see, that's not necessarily true, though, because, I mean, he's gone viral multiple times.
He has. He's been on fucking
Ridiculousness.
He was on Ridiculousness. He was on fucking break.com. I saw a couple of days ago on Facebook, you shared a video of his that got shared on Break. And like the funny thing about him is that he somehow had it figured out how to go viral.
Yeah.
Like he had the fucking pulse of it, man. And like how he
Could you
did
imagine him this day and age with TikTok?
Oh my God.
He'd be living his best life.
Oh yeah, I
He'd be
guarantee it.
TikTok famous. He would be TikTok famous. Like, this is going to be a little bit personal, but so I'm not going to, I don't even remember the exact number, but he had a video of where he had just gotten laid off from his shoot job.
Yeah.
And he was bored at home with the kids, and he filmed a video, and the concept of it was essentially the wife leaves a hidden camera and catches her husband doing this. And it was him dancing to the song E.T. by Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And
with pom-poms.
With pom-poms and all of that. And I was like, man, why did you do that? Like, what did you know? He goes, here's why. He showed me the earnings of the video. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's why you did it.
Hey, I don't blame him. As Marshawn Lynch says, get your chicken.
That's what he would do, man.
Yeah, get your chicken.
Dude, one of my favorite ribs that he ever pulled on someone, because, oh my God, he was a fucking ribber. Someone who will remain unnamed, but let's just say that they were very high flying, brought a fucking sack lunch to the show.
With Italian breadcrumbs?
Maybe. It was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is what it
Definitely
was. Do you
had
know
Italian
this story?
breadcrumbs.
No.
You don't know this story? So he has like 2 or 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with him in the backstage. He eats one of them.
Kid.
Yeah. Leaves the other 2 out. So Zero's just sitting there. Gets up, walks over, grabs the peanut butter and jelly, looks over at Big Blake Reed. Hey, Blake Reed. Wow, that was a good zero.
That was a good
That was
zero.
a really good zero. Hey, Blake Reed, why don't you tuck this under your singlet? So Blake Reed tucks the peanut butter jelly under the like left strap of his singlet, like down a little bit, sits there for a minute, like does his pre-match warm-up, takes the peanut butter and jelly out, puts it back in the bag, and then he's like, ha, 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 ha. That'll show him to leave food unattended in the locker room. He was a very old school guy in that mentality of where it's like he didn't give a fuck like about hurting anyone's feelings, because he knew that in a wrestling locker room, the rib was the rib. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was never anything fucking personal.
Yeah.
It never was. It was just like, look, you get fucking ribbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you would, you know?
I think my favorite rib he ever pulled was there used to be a wrestler. Oh, I would leave names unnamed, but let's just say he thought he was a real deal. And
Let's hope.
Yeah, he decided that he was going to be a little petty asshole and start drama for no reason.
Oh, yes.
So he got kicked out of a
certain company.
Of a certain company, yeah. And the entire time he was gone, Tolerant Xero used his exact theme song.
Yes.
To throw shade. And this was like a good 2, 3, or 4 month run.
Yeah.
Just trolling.
I have a funny story about that person that involves another person that was just recently on the podcast. Ollie Tharp was like, man, I wanted to get into the story of whenever blank. And if you think about it, it was a certain cage match.
Oh, yeah.
You know the story. We'll get into that on Paid Show. But, yeah, he was like, man, I kind of wanted to get into that one. He said, because I found out later that he was saying all, he was like, whatever, but we'll get into that on Paid Show.
Speaking of Ollie, though,
yes.
Before we get off subject to Ollie, have you listened to the new podcast?
I have not.
I asked him about Jake the Snake and the inflatable snake just for you.
Oh, fuck.
Just for you, brother.
Just for you, brother.
Yeah.
I stopped the whole podcast just to get that question out.
The inside scoop, brother. Hell yeah.
He was like, oh man, he goes, that was really something else, you know? And Ollie doing that little forehead rub that he does. And it was just like
why are you bringing this shit up?
Times.
Yeah. to quote Tolerant Xero, said, Ollie's the only referee that he'll walk to the middle of the ring. Are you ready? Camera cuts over to that wrestler. Yeah. You ready? And before it cuts over to the other wrestler, Ollie's gigged. Because it was just the joke that Ollie would find any fucking reason to gig. And during Tolerant Xero's tribute show, I go up to him and I go, Ollie, are you bumping tonight? And he goes, yeah, I think there's a ref bump spot. And I said, can you gig? And he goes, well, why? And I said, Xero would want it. And I explained to him and he goes, oh yeah, I guess I kind of do gig a lot, don't I? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it for Mike. I really miss that guy. And then he went out there and boom, he did it.
Were you guys there at the time that Ollie took a fucking windshield for no reason?
No.
Oh God. So it was Blake Reed versus Sam Knight.
That's why we weren't there.
At New Wave Pro, yeah. And
yeah, this was the time period I was gone.
And they had like an old like car out by the garage door, and somehow, some way, Ollie ended up taking the fucking windshield and gigged. It's like a fucking course. Like,
Did the windshield spider?
Yeah, I have a picture somewhere on my phone deep in the archives. I'll have to find it, but I'll send it to you. You can post it on the Patreon.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's me and Ollie in front of the windshield where he's just gigged.
Yeah, that whole era we were gone.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Yeah, you were never really there to begin with. Like, you would come to shows and stuff, but like
at the New Wave shit.
Yeah, the New Wave.
I think
shows.
I worked only 4 New Wave shows,
and it was when I was gone. You never worked a New Wave when it's not important. People don't care. But
never got paid,
dude. One of my coolest moments with Xero is he had just done. It was like one of those like festival shows. And it was on Wabash here in Terre Haute. And then after
block
the
party
show,
shows.
it was one of the block party. That's what it is. And me and Xero at just like midnight or whatever it is, just like sitting out, eating a burrito, watching fucking drunk people stumble up and down Wabash. And we're just there eating a burrito and just talking our shit.
Sounds about like Xero.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the burrito from?
Chavez, man.
Hell yeah.
Dalton does not like it. Dalton does not like it.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
But yeah, man, there's like I said, you guys, like, we don't really, we don't tend to do the free shout out or whatever, but for the sake of getting to see some good shit, you really need to just go onto YouTube, type, this is where pro wrestling goes to die. Michael Madrox is actually featured in an episode of This Is Where Pro Wrestling Goes to Die.
The flaming table.
Yeah.
That would not break.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know the video, Xero, it had to be he was there.
No, he wasn't there. That was actually my footage that I gave to him for it.
Oh, did you really? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Flip cam, brother.
So let's tell this story about the flaming table that would not flame.
I was working fuzz down at that Southern company that we won't name because it's shit, even though it's Tri-State Wrestling. And we found a table in the parking lot, and the promoter's like, hey, does somebody want to use this? And me and Fuzz were like, sure. Fuzz was like, I got a thing of lighter fluid. I was like, sure. So he lights the table, and we didn't take into fact that this table's probably been sitting outside for God knows how long.
It was waterlogged.
It was fucking waterlogged as shit. Would not light worth it all. But it was sturdy as fuck. It was like a Japanese table.
Yeah.
So I hit it, and the flames would bounce off. Then they try to light it again, and the flames go out, and I hit it, and I bounce off. And it took like 6 fucking tries to go through this fucking table.
Damn.
It's working.
Damn. That's working.
That's working.
If you guys haven't
It was at a
out,
pool show, though, which was kind of cool, even though they wouldn't let us put the ring in the pool. But all the fans and stuff were like out there in bikinis, like playing beach ball and shit. So that made it actually like fun and entertaining. And the locker room was a haunted house. So that's the night I met Sam Knight, and he walked in, and I was laying in a casket, dressed up like Dracula.
Hell yeah.
What's the weirdest? Because we've talked about it. You and I, the weirdest places that we've worked in, the weirdest locker rooms we've worked. But we haven't asked you what's the weirdest like venue that you've worked a show in?
Oh, I don't know if I've necessarily have had weird.
You never got changed for a wrestling show in a gynecologist's office?
No.
Nope. Been there, done that.
No.
Wait, what?
TSW, brother.
Of course, always.
Yeah, I don't think that I have. I mean, like, I've been in like utility closets and shit. places, but I don't think I've had like a weird locker room.
Damn. Well, what about just venue in general?
The Blue Jean Center.
I mean, I wrestled in like different venues, like the Destination 6 church. Like that was just different.
Yeah.
What's the worst venue you ever worked?
Oof.
This is the hard-hitting questions.
Probably a recycling center.
Yeah, a recycling center is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just dirty all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Probably that one.
Yeah, you fucking metal shavings all over your fucking
MRSA.
your shoes and it was not great. Because we flat out talked about it. It was it was the New Wave Recycling Center.
Mm-hmm.
Worst fucking place I've worked. It was hot. It was miserable. There was no airflow in that fucking building.
You guys ever do a show and have to change in a U-Haul truck? In the dead of summer?
No.
You want to talk about hot? That's hot.
No, I can't say that I have. I've seen it where we were outside for a show and they pulled like about a U-Haul size trailer and they had like a couple fans going and Bob Holly got dressed in there. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I've not got dressed in a box truck or a U-Haul.
Missing out, man.
It sounds like I really am, to be honest with you. No, the weirdest, the funniest place I've gotten dressed is that V and I did a bar show in Wisconsin, and they just kind of walled off a certain part of the bar, and it was with a curtain that was probably 6 feet tall. There was a guy on the show that was about as tall as Madrox, and he was in a masked gimmick, but he was walking around the locker room with
no
his mask off.
off.
So it's like people could clearly look over the fucking curtain and see that it was him, and it's like, what are we doing here?
That's funny.
He's working his kayfabe, brother.
Hey, if it's in the locker room,
I wrestled at a bar in Colorado, and they had like the whole outside part as the locker room. So like that was just
Like the patio.
yeah, that was kind of like cool, but kind of just like weird at the same time because
Yeah.
you're just outside.
Yeah. How do you feel about outside venues?
I mean, I don't hate them. It really just depends on like
The weather.
the weather and the
Yeah.
setup. You know, it's like if you can be in the shade, that's always cool.
Oh,
You
in the
guys
air
ever work a
conditioning.
campground show?
No.
Oh, they're in the shade, nice breeze from the lakes. Like those are like prime examples of outdoor shows.
How
I like
many
working.
fucking different types of venues have you worked?
A fucking shit ton, dude.
It sounds like it, because he's just like, you guys ever worked here? You guys ever
Yeah.
done this? You guys ever worked the fucking...
The first gathering I ever worked where the U-Haul trailer came in. They had
Oh,
a
really?
24-foot U-Haul trailer behind it. There was that for you to change in, and then you'd go up and sit behind the curtains on the stage, and they'd have the big industrial fans.
Did it even cool you off at all?
Hell no, dude.
It was at night. Was it night or daytime?
It's still fucking hot as fuck
Yeah,
in Cave in Rock,
true.
Illinois, dude.
Yeah. That's crazy that Madrox has worked a gathering. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I wish I could have.
Yeah.
It's not too late, brother. But first, we gotta get some weight on you and get you pound some motherfuckers.
No,
That's what they're into.
Why
Trust
are we
me.
dying on this
Trust
hill?
me.
Why are we dying on the hill of getting fucking Dalton to just gain all this weight and become Otis? Like, what is happening here?
No, Otis and Monty Brown together.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
He's a working man
he is.
from the savannah.
No,
You feel the pound. No.
No.
Like, it's simple no. That's my favorite thing about you is that, like, you always have these really fucking weird, like, ways to, but when you just simply go, no. Like, one of my favorite things that you've ever said is, I'm going to redact this story a little bit. There was a situation where you kept trying to get an answer from someone, but they just weren't giving you an answer. So then you asked them like a fourth time and they still didn't give you an answer. And you just calm, cool, collected go, wow, that's crazy. Here's what I'm going to do. And then you just start like, just simply, no. What you said was you go, wow, that's crazy. I'm going to ask one more fucking time, and then what I'm gonna do is just go back to drinking or something. I don't.
yeah, I was
Dude.
pretty drunk in that. But
Yeah, when aren't you though?
yeah, right now.
Yeah, but to quote Papa Wabash, he just called. Like, is this? You've had a pretty long stretch here where you've not been the old Bud Light brawler.
Yeah, I've been sober. That's
Well, I'm proud of you, kid.
don't be. As soon as I can fuck that up, I am. But yeah, I just don't like drinking on this medicine.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't anyway, really.
Yeah.
People listening, like, if you're on, like, serious pain meds, don't fucking mix
Especially if you're on antibiotics.
with booze. So,
Yeah.
and this isn't even, we're going to start to wrap up here. This isn't even necessarily about a return to the ring. This question is just a general, broad question. Once Dalton Davis is healed and can walk around without the assistance of a scooter or crutches, what's the first thing you're doing? Like, what's that day look like for Dalton Davis?
He's coming to hang out with Michael Madrox.
Probably. I'll probably be at work and then get off. I don't know, man. Just try to fucking catch up on life as much as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably go and hit Tolly's.
Shout out.
Reclaim my kingdom.
Yeah. It was funny. I called Dalton a few days ago. He was like, Kid Rock ain't got shit on me. I ain't seen the sunshine in 8 damn days or whatever it was. And I was just like, there he goes again, fucking bringing it around to a fucking song. That's what he always does. You know
Listen
what I
here,
mean?
sir. If we go to Tolly's after you're out, wings are on me.
Oh, fuck. Hell yeah.
I already told you this too. First drink's on me. So
Fuck yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go, dude.
I'm getting fucked up, boys.
I said first drink,
Yeah.
not your whole tab.
Yeah, that's fine. First drink. I'll take a bucket.
That is something Dalton Davis would do. Dalton, here's the thing. We fucking hate to see it. We hate to see you down and out, but you seem to be in good spirits. And I think that's the one thing that is really important here. I'm not necessarily the praying type. I know Madrox isn't. But we've been sending you as many positive vibes as we can. I know those that do view that way of theology. I know they've been doing the same for you. You got nothing but love coming your way, man. And we really want to see you back at it. We really do. So far you've, had what seems like a pretty doable recovery, like nothing really, no major hiccups, and knock wood, there won't be any more. But you got a good support system behind you, man, and we are doing nothing but rooting for you. We're really wanting to see you back.
Except me, you're ruining my dinner time.
Well,
And I do appreciate it. I really do. I'm grateful for the support system that everybody gives me. The comeback's always better than the setback, so I guess just wait and see like everybody else, including myself. So
yeah,
we're all on this ride together. We'll figure it out as it goes.
I'm just glad you haven't lost your smile, sir.
Oh, yeah. I could never. My buddy Sean Hickenbottom, you may know him as Shawn Michaels. He lost his smile once. It was hard for us to get it back for him, but, we pulled through.
Can't believe we found it under the couch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dalton, where can they keep up with you to see this journey unfold on social media?
Fucking MadBash Studios. I don't post shit.
Okay, yeah, we'll. We really are the PR team for Dalton Davis at this point. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Like we said, we'll keep everyone updated. On the journey, on the recovery.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, we're sending all the positive vibes your way, man, and we'll be glad to have you back whenever you're back, and
looking forward to it.
We're going to be rolling into Paid Show with you. We're not done with you yet. May not be tonight that we're recording it, but at some point we're going to be recording Untitled Wrestling Commentary with you. So you're going to be in the loop with content is what we're getting at here. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Dalton, thanks for having us here at the crib to record with you.
No problem.
You can find Madrox by calling 1-900-909-9900. You can find me on Instagram at DW_mischievous_rabbit. MadBashStudios.com is the big plug. For those of you that are on Patreon, we're going to be rolling in with Dalton Davis. We've got a couple of stories that we could not tell on Spot Show that we are going to tell on Paid Show. So we are going to see you down the road on some form of content.